Hi guys, so what's up? So basically, I've been identifying like things that makes us more capable of doing better for ourselves and the people that are around us. Did you ever realize that it's so easy to be lazy than to be a hard worker? But what happens is like, do we misinterpret the definition of a hard worker, or do we misinterpret the definition of laziness? But basically, because we are not willing to go forward and do what is required of us, we become complacent to what we are used to, and we are more inclined to complaining than we are to actually solving problems. So which is why like it's easy to sit down and just watch an entire Netflix season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, than to pick up a book that you can read that is based on business, growing your business or something like that. Then why is it easy for us to do something that makes us lazier than something that makes us hard, even if we know that the result of laziness is likely to be poverty? If you want to be lazy, sleep. And if you want to be rich, then you have to work hard. But we tend to choose to sleep even if it is not something that we want. How so? How so? Why are we inclined to not work than how we are inclined to actually work? The reason is that it's easier to be comfortable. It's easy to live comfortably and live on autopilot without you having to do effort, to put effort in anything. Because most people, it's easy to it's easy to gain weight than to actually lose weight. It's easy to not go to the gym than to actually go to the gym. Why? Because everything that requires us to put effort happens to be difficult at some point. It's not that it's difficult, but it's our mentality, how we perceive it. Because if something benefits you more, like let's say watching a Netflix movie, you get paid for it, like at least you get paid at least $100 per every episode you watch, like that you enjoy. But because it's easy, everyone will be doing it. Everyone will be like, I'm just gonna take a career in Netflix, man. I'm just gonna take a career in Netflix. But because we tend to deny things that are hard, we tend to incline ourselves to things that are easier to do and the easy way out, which makes us more vulnerable to poverty than the others. Because those that tend to work hard, even if they are not gaining anything in the moment in time, they tend to have to benefit more in the long run. And those that tend to see things from a long run tend to have a clear vision of what they want than those that tends to be more lazy. Because if you tend to be, laziness isn't something that you say, I want to be lazy. No one will ever say, I want to be lazy. No one will ever say, everyone will say, I want to be a hard worker, or I'm a hard worker, or something that is to do with good. We all inclined to live up to that. We love that. We all insinuate that we are hard workers, whenever we are talking to other people. But what happens is laziness is part of who we are as individuals. We need to rest, and when we rest, we forget that we still have to wake up tomorrow morning and do some other work. You still have to wake up the next day. So this is the recipe for laziness. You gotta find what you're passionate about. You gotta find something that you want to do and something that you like. And one thing about your passion and your education, these are two separate things. Most people tend to be like, you have found your passion, man. You just quit school or and deal with your passion. But the education part of us finding our passions is because it's better to be educated and then have your passion. In that way, you have an open mind and you get to see things from a better point of view in life, and you get to open your mind to many things. You get to have an open mind, and if you follow your passion, you get to be happy at the same time. You have an open mind, so you get to explore more and become more adventurous in your life. But because we're not willing to focus on finding our own passions, we are so ridden to think that we on our own we can make it, or we can do it, from being lazy or from not finding our passions. As for me, I remember I was 15. I would play basketball and I was good with the people that I was playing basketball with, but I wasn't the best. I would play soccer. I would be good, I would enjoy it, but I wasn't the best, and there is always someone who's the best. Was I willing to work hard to become the best? Yes, I was, but at the end of the day, was all my intentions based on becoming the best, or was I enjoying myself throughout the journey? for that fact, most people are not well aware of that. So if you are if you're well aware of your passion, right, this is what you want to do, this is what you like to do, this is what you love to do, it's gonna be easier for you to carry out that experiment throughout your life. It's easy for you to repeat that over and over and over, even if it's not gonna be easy, of course, because if it's easy, it becomes something that is associated with laziness, which is easy. Something easy to do. Your passion is something that you're gonna find great joy doing, even if it tends to be hard, even if you're doing it, but you still find light out of all the darkness that surrounds this world. And in that I find it way easier to follow my passion, and way easier to work harder towards a passion than to work harder towards something that you don't really like. It's easy. If I'm following my passion, I'll never wake up tomorrow morning and say I have a headache when I don't have a headache, because I'm trying to do a cover up, or I'm too tired, or I want to sit home and do stuff that I want to do from home. That's not all, that's not the part of it. The best part of this is that when I wake up in the morning, I know already what I want to do in my life. I know already what I am capable of, and I know already what I want to do for the next 10 years to 20 years. And for the fact that I know that, it makes my life way easier when I wake up and say, yo, I'm going to work, yo, I'm gonna do this, yo, I'm gonna do this, yo, I'm gonna write a book, whoa, I'm gonna do, all of that, all of it combined into this one thing. It makes my life easier because I chose to do it. I chose that path, and that path simplifies my work, and it simplifies my mind. It elevates my stress. It reduces the amount of pressure that I have, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be easy one day after the other. It simply means I'm gonna learn to tolerate it more, because we tend to tolerate things we like, or the people we like, more often than the people we don't. The people we don't like, we tend to hate them more, we tend to argue with them more, but because there are these people that we like, we tolerate them even if they are doing something bad. So because we tend to become more lazy in terms of choosing what we prefer and what we like. That is the reason why laziness is easy than to be a hard worker. But over a period of time, then you learn that, especially if you're in your 20s, I'm in my 20s, right? In your 20s, it's like a very, very short period of time, like it's a very, very short period of time, because that's when most people grow up, that's when most people achieve their independence, that's when most young people start getting paid, that's where everything in life just opens up, But because it opens up like that, some people lose it, From the age of 20 to the age of 30, it's just like that, it's finished. And by the time you wake up at 30, you're now getting caught up with all these things that life demands, and you're asking yourself, what the heck have I been doing for the past these kind of years? What the heck have I been doing? It's not like you haven't been focused or seeing what you want, but it's because you got caught up with comfortability and being comfortable with your own life and what you are doing. That becomes more problematic over a long period of time, because you get to say, nah man, as long I can chill a bit more, I can chill a bit more, I can do this a bit more, I can do a bit more, then you start realizing, yo man, all these bits more, putting them together, bro, it's like tons and tons of wasted hours. But because we don't see it when it's happening, it's the same thing, man. So hard work should be mandatory, according to me, man. I prefer that we all start having this mindset that is a crime to hard work. It's not easy, of course, because if it's easy, everyone will be rich in the world. But one of the reasons why most people find themselves in poverty after a long period of time, and yet many people see a nice car and say, yo man, I'm gonna drive that one day, but sometimes they die without ever driving that car, or they die without ever living in that house that they always wanted. It's because it was easy to point out to that car and say, yo bro, I want this car, like, yo, I want this. It's easy to point out to something and say you want it, but without actually putting effort to get it. How do you get it? So you move away from the fact that laziness is easy to adapt to, because you really don't have to put any effort in it. It's easy to be lazy, it's easy to do it. And the more that you become lazy, the more you start realizing, yo man, I haven't been doing like quite a lot of work, or I've been procrastinating, or I always wanted to be an artist, I always wanted to be a musician. Why am I not doing music? Why am I not producing enough? Why am I not participating in the world that I want to change? What's happening? What's wrong with me? And then you start finding all these wrong things in a place that they are not in. And that all of it accumulating to bring it to this point that I'm talking about is that it's easy to be lazy than to actually be a hard worker, and it's easy to follow people. It's easy to be around people that are lazy, just like you are. It's easy to be inclined to those associates. It's easy to associate yourself with people that don't have a vision. That's why you see that most people that happen to be on top of the hierarchy of needs, the people that fulfills their potential in life, happens to be some of the people that spend most of the times alone, because they tend to realize that the more that they work hard, the more that their vision becomes clearer, the more that they cannot keep on explaining it to many people, and the more they understand that not everyone is gonna get you. Not everyone is gonna get what you are doing in your vision or your perspective or the spectrum of what you are trying to achieve. But because the more that you explain to them, the more your life becomes difficult. Just stop explaining to them and do what needs to be done, and in that way it makes life easier for you and everyone who surrounds you. Now let's take it back a while back, right? Why do we look at a car and say, yo man, I want that car, bro, I'm definitely gonna drive that AMG, but 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 40 years later, you never have that car. Now if you start having a family, you start putting pressure on them. Why don't you get this? Why don't you start that? Why don't this did what, and there's the reason why they are like this, did this what, and they're the reason why they are like this. Is because we never got to fulfill what we always wanted, which was our own dreams. So now we start putting them in the next generation of our families. So the thing is like, for most people that are educated, if you're a doctor and your mom, I'm a doctor and my wife, she's a professor, then we have a kid, right? And our kid says, Dad and Mom, I want to drop out of school because I want to chase my business. It's understandable, because in our family we already have education for the next 150 years, so we are allowed to experiment with that. But now we are growing into this modern world where they'll be like, nah man, it doesn't matter what the education doesn't matter, it doesn't matter as long as you got a passion, or as long as you got a business. But with all this information, you must be taking information to do all these things from somewhere. Where are you taking it from? So because you don't have strong background or strong suits or strong environment, or you not surrounded yourself with strong people, you tend to realize, yo man, am I in a fantasy, or this is reality? When your business fails, or you wonder what's happening with your life. No, it's because we have learned to be comfortable with what surrounds us than to actually go out there and do more with our lives over the short period of time that we have. So I bet this was a helpful video. Please click subscribe and leave a comment, and if you want us to talk about any topic that you got in mind that you think might be controversial or might be helpful to you, please drop it in the comment, and press the like button and the subscribe button, and definitely leave the notification button on. Thanks guys for tuning in.